What do you mean? What do you mean the Apollo 10 footage is dodgy? It shows that they didn't go to the moon. I've seen it loads of times, right? Loads of times. And that footage is real footage. There's nothing wrong with it. You're just a conspiracy theorist. You're just delusional. Everything's a conspiracy theory. I bet the moon's not real either, huh? Mars isn't real, the sky isn't real, and the oceans aren't real. Okay, I'll show you. Buckle up. Three things. In 3 or 4 minutes.
414 miles apart. This provided an in-flight test of the Apollo rendezvous radar at maximum range.
What?
Snoopy was now ready for the rendezvous sequence to be performed on the next orbit.
What did we see there just before?
The maneuver placed the lunar module into an elliptical orbit of 218 by 9 miles, while the command service module remained in a circular orbit. During the elliptical orbit, the two Apollo 10 spacecraft were as far as 414 miles apart.
Oh, bumped you there.
This provided an in-flight test of the Apollo rendezvous radar at maximum range.
Moon turbulence.
Snoopy was now ready for the rendezvous sequence to be performed on the next orbit. Once more, they rounded the battered face of the moon.
Charlie, we just saw Earthrise, and it's got to be magnificent. I don't know how the big man must see things, but if his view is any better than ours, it's got to be fantastic.
Now listen. Not because of the tidal lock thing, but because they're using their forward momentum, right? And that is why the Earth rose, because they're orbiting towards Earth on top of the moon. It does not rise that quickly, absurdity fans, okay? We continue.
As the lunar module again approached the low point in its orbit, staging was initiated. The descent stage, which will be used on a landing mission for the actual touchdown and provide a launch platform for liftoff, was separated from the ascent stage.
It did not start well.
Remember how I say they always throw something in. They always throw something like this in, so people go, they wouldn't, why would they do that? Obviously something happened. It's real. No. This is why they throw these things in.
The backup guidance system apparently did not function properly. The spacecraft took a sudden and unexpected 180-degree turn. The astronauts took over manual control and stabilized the lunar module in 8 seconds.
Stay out of it, Nick. That's that last attitude. That's New Houston. We show you close the gimbal lock. Yeah, okay. Something went wild there on that space. And we're all set. We didn't lock it. We're going ahead to the autumn. Charlie Brown, Houston, they got staging. They had a wild gyration, but they got it under control.
It was an unexpected system malfunction. Tom Stafford and Gene Cernan were never in any kind of danger, but for a few seconds, they didn't know that.
Now, buckle up. Now, I've never been to space, never been to the moon, obviously. Nobody has, okay? This is the thing. They were never in any danger, right? They were never in any danger. So this is the first crew to do what is happening right here, right? They've arrived at the moon after 4 days of travel, 100 and something hours, right? 102, 103 hours. They separate, they leave the poor guy up there, orbiting on his own. Michael Collins did it as well. And the other two, I'm not sure of the names here, to protect the innocent. Okay. So they descended to the moon, they took some happy snaps, and then they jettisoned the descent stage from the ascent stage, and they were in the ascent stage, and this thing flipped 180 degrees, like they jumped to attention, right? And they leveled the ascent stage in 8 seconds. Now, you've got this, when you're in a vacuum, you know, you've got the, no margin for error. We are talking absolute zero, right? Zero, because you carry on that way and you can overcorrect it. 8 seconds. Didn't happen. This did not happen. They're flying in a vacuum and they're in 1/6 of Earth's gravitational pull. This happened. No notice whatsoever. 8 seconds. This is why you all think everything is easy, right? This is why you think everything is easy. This is the benchmark. After this, of course, 6 successful landings, moon missions, re-entries happened between 1969 and 1972. After correcting that in 8 seconds, everything is possible. Buckle up. Number 3 coming up. And this, wow.
After a few missed heartbeats, the ascent continued smoothly.
The staging and ascent maneuver simulated liftoff from the lunar surface after a landing mission. At the high point in this orbit, the small maneuvering engines were fired to place the lunar module into a 52-mile high circular orbit. The lunar module was now 17 miles below and 169 miles behind the command module. After coasting for 38 minutes, the small engines were fired again to complete rendezvous with the command module.
Fixed cameras were running in both spacecraft as they slowly closed together.
It was old hat for the veteran crew. In Gemini, Stafford...
Mate, slow down. What? Slow down, the command... You need to slow the command capsule down. We can't catch up with you. But we can't, we're orbiting the moon. Just slow down, just pull it out for a second. All right.
had flown 5 rendezvous, Cernan 4, and Young 3.
Hey, Joe, we're about ready to dock. Stand by.
Look,
Okay, John, you're in
they're not
about
moving.
5 feet, mate. Looking beautiful.
What's this piece of paper? Watch.
Hello, yes, Slippy, Charlie Brown
They're not
are helping
moving.
each other. Roger that. We heard him down here.
What the?
The highly successful docking was accomplished smoothly, expeditiously.
Hey, Joe, we're about ready to dock. Stand by. Okay, John, you're in about 5 feet, mate. Looking beautiful. Hello, yes, Slippy, Charlie Brown are hugging each other. Roger that. We heard him down here.
The highly successful docking was accomplished smoothly.
Of course, it was accomplished smoothly. Buckle up one last time. So, things that happen. No, not the Earth rising as it did. No, it's an absurdity. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, right? These astronauts writing the ascent stage after a totally spontaneous, they did not see it coming. It flipped 180 degrees and they corrected it in 8 seconds. That's not happened, right? Where did they learn how to fly in a vacuum? You know, something else. I keep on saying, every now and again when I'm writing, yeah, where did they learn to learn in a vacuum at 1/6 of Earth's gravitational pull? A couple of people, right? What do you mean, vacuum? What do you mean? What do I mean, a vacuum? What do you mean? Like a Dyson? Do the new lot, the up-and-coming youngsters, know about a vacuum? Alexa, can I fly my aeroplane in the vacuum of space?
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Alexa, what can I do in a vacuum?
From thehardwarehub.co.uk. A vacuum cleaner is used to get rid of dust.
Alexa, in space, it's a vacuum. There's no atmosphere, particles, no atoms, nothing. What can I do in a vacuum?
From howmonk.com. Since space is a vacuum with no air to conduct heat, the only way to stay warm is through direct contact with a heat source like the sun or a spacecraft.
Alexa, can I fly my aeroplane in the vacuum of space?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, airplanes can't fly into space because the air gets too thin, meaning there is not enough oxygen. Plane engines, even jet engines, need air to run. Also, airplane wings need air to provide lift.
Alexa, so there is no resistance in a vacuum? Alexa, is there no resistance in a vacuum?
Here's something I found on the web. According to the scienceforum.com, vacuum has no air and hence cannot produce any air resistance.
No resistance? Alexa, what does it mean, no resistance? Would a parachute work in a vacuum?
From how.com, in a vacuum a parachute would be worthless because it would have no air molecules to pull against.
No, nothing to push against or pull against. Alexa, does thrust work in a vacuum?
From sanitron.com, a cross is a vacuum component that allows vacuum connections on 4 nodes.
Alexa, does thrust of a rocket work in a vacuum?
From Byju's.com, a rocket can propel itself even in vacuum because it does not require air for obtaining uplift or for burning its fuel.
Alexa, but if there is no resistance in a vacuum, how does a rocket propel itself?
From tutorialspoint.com, when a rocket shoots out hot gases from the nozzle, it creates thrust to propel the rocket forward in vacuum.
Oh, okay. Alexa, how does the thrust work in a vacuum if there is no resistance?
From gov.capital, despite the absence of an external medium in a vacuum, rocket engines can still generate thrust by expelling high-speed exhaust gases.
Into the vacuum. Yeah. Okay, Alexa, thank you.
Delighted to assist.
I'm sure. So there you have it. Yeah. Nothing to see here, especially not a moon landing. You guys carry on believing. Carry on living the dream. Buenas noches.